Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from DeltaCX.com. We're a full service CX and UX consultancy. Yeah, I'm tripping over my words today, but check us out. The website will be way more eloquent than I am. Hello, everybody. Now, normally on Mondays, we do Think Out Loud, where I teach UX design by doing UX design, but that's because I got suggestions from you on some fake or realistic things we could design, and we did the first one, and then I haven't gotten a second one. So if you would like to suggest something that you would like to see me design live on the shows, it could be over one episode, it could be over multiple episodes. Our last one took us 7 episodes. Please send it in. The link is at deltacx.com/links. Any question you have about this show is answered there. How do you join our Slack workspace, which is free? How do you send stuff in? It's all there. So make sure you check that out. And speaking of things to check out, special thanks to all the people who are financially supporting the channel in small and large ways here on YouTube. That is, if your name's on the screen, thanks to you. And if your name isn't on the screen, thanks to you. Hello, I10, and hello, Angus in South Africa. So thanks to everybody who financially supports the channel. It is, again, totally optional, but always accepted and appreciated because I buy silly videos for the show and some chocolate chips. So since we don't have a topic, I'm going to continue with the last week's micro lesson. So if you didn't see that, you want to go back in time and go to the micro lessons playlist and watch about recognizing good and bad UX, because I started that show with the things I look for when I'm looking at a website, app, system, anything else, to be able to tell where there's good and bad UX. I use this for my audits. I use this for my own designs to kind of check myself when I'm working alone. Hello, Sirocco. And it's great even for non-UX people to learn how to recognize good and bad UX. This is not just for people in UX, because then you'll have some clue as to what we're talking about when we say this is bad UX. And you might be like, no, it's pretty good. And it's like, well, hold on. Maybe only one of those is true. Let's see why you think it's good and why I think it's not good. And, maybe we just saw something you didn't, and maybe you saw something we didn't. So worth having the conversation. So let's jump over to my browser. I've opened up a private browser, and previously on LinkedIn, hi, Clement. I'd posted something on LinkedIn and I asked people for suggestions of things we could look at on the show together. And these are 3 of the websites that I was sent. Let's make sure you're looking at them. Great. So you see my browser, you see the live chat room. Hello, Shir. Hello, Husnain. Hello from Pakistan. Hello, Ralitza. Please live comment on things as we go. Remember, we're looking for good and bad UX. Hello, Maheshwari. Okay, so we were sent the Toronto Recreation Reservations and Program Registration. They could have made something fun out of that, and they didn't. The Toronto. Hello, Udipta. Angus said, I found it really useful to share with some of our business folk. Yeah, last week's episode that starts out with what I'm looking for and why, and then these I hope will help. Send in your own company's website. Send in your favorite website. We'll look at these 3, and if we have time left over, I'll look at something that the chat room sends in live. So let's imagine that we are in Toronto and we need to sign up for something in Toronto. Now, it looks like there's a lot going on here. It looks like there's reserve swimming, but then there's also register for a program. So, of course, my first thought is swimming not a program? What makes it separate from these other things? And that's a little bit of an information architecture question. Why aren't all the programs listed under Make a Reservation? Why is it just swimming? If I browse programs, is swimming going to be there again? I10 says, I'm confused by the name. It's a bit of a long name. Hi, Anna. So let's take a quick look at reserve swimming, just in case we did want to reserve a swimming. Let's say we're going to put your session expired if you were logged in. No, I was definitely not logged in. I am in a private browser. Okay, so this is reservations for swimming. drop in Aquafit indoor. But if it's drop in, do I still need a reservation? Because drop in sounds like just, oh no, you still have to drop. Okay, so even drop in requires a reservation, but I would have to read that to no. Otherwise, I would stop at drop in and go, oh, I can just drop in. Now, I don't know whether I have to choose a location first or if I can say I'm just going to come here. Oh, okay. So now if I click on this, so here we have a little issue where we don't have the context is a little bit strange because we kind of have what looks like an accordion, so something that expands and contracts or opens and closes, but it wasn't right where I did the clicking. It was down the page. And if I had a smaller screen, I might not even have known something was changing inches and centimeters below where things were. So always make sure that if you are doing an accordion, that the thing that is opening and closing or expanding and contracting is right there. This was a little bit weird. So this is a little bit weird because the dates are today. I assume these times haven't happened yet in Toronto time. And they're all today. So it looks like I can only book a pool time for today. Some of these have no available slots. Some of these have available slots. And then somebody set up an e-commerce system where I'm going to add this to the cart. Now, I don't want to take away from anybody's, I don't want to take this last slot. What happens if I say add to cart for this one? You are in a secure site. Please treat your client, family, and organization numbers with confidentiality. Client number, family, or organization number. All right. Who knows what I'm about to say? Put it in the chat room, because if you've been watching our micro lessons on things like task analysis and knowledge design, you know I'm about to yell, knowledge design and knowledge dependent. Did you get it too? Holy cats, what is my client number? What is my family number? Do you think I've memorized these? Do you think I've written them down somewhere? Is there a piece of information you could have asked me for that I'm more likely to know, like my phone number or my email address? So asking people for pieces of information that they're unlikely to have just puts up an obstacle. Now I've got to go find my cheat sheet or phone book or list of places where I keep a thing and track down this thing. That's going to be ugly. So obviously I don't have one, and I'm not gonna sign up for one. Now, a bunch of these things here are linked. So let's see what happens if we click to Aquafit Shallow. Okay, it's a pop-up telling you more about it. Okay. And I know many people are probably waiting for me to like freak out at the design of this. Okay, it's not a modern design, but honestly, many towns, regions, municipalities don't invest in their websites. And to me, if a website is functional and it's a region or a town or a municipality, I'm thrilled. This is not that easy to use. I can see where people can get thrown off here. So I'm not going to bother complaining that I don't like the font or, something else. If it's inaccessible, that's another thing. But I'm not going to get wrapped up over, it should have a more modern design. Iton says, whenever somebody asks me for an ID number, I go crazy. There's like 4 different long numbers there. Which one? I've been confused for 25 years. Yeah, it's like asking people their password and then their master password. Oh, burn. Larry says, while this is technically and functionally correct, it's difficult to use. I'm guessing a developer designed this. I would agree. This definitely looks like, look, we have these requirements, show people these times, give them a way to do it. Oh, look, there's a shopping cart plugin we can use, plug that in. I gotcha. So I think that that is a pretty good look at this. Okay, ice time search. I would like to have some ice time. I would like to have it next week. I'd like to go on Monday the 7th. Well, preferred days don't matter because I picked a specific day. So hopefully all is good enough. 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. is really long. Let's get specific. I want ice time between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Let's imagine that's when my fake kids are out of school. Function. Okay, this has a star, so I think this is mandatory. Barbecue, this is ice time. Okay, so it looks like this menu doesn't seem to change based on what part of the site you're on. This is, again, old-fashioned and probably left over from a legacy system, and as Larry said, probably designed by a developer. But if I'm looking for ice time, I probably don't need a barbecue, a fire pit, a marriage license, or a tennis court. Aitan says, I'm not creative enough to change a password. Siroko says, accordions should be on the top of the page. Not necessarily, Siroko. We just want to make sure that when the accordion opens and closes, it was close to where we clicked. Make sure it's like right there where we clicked. It didn't make sense to have us click over here and something opened way down here where we might not see it. So it's not that it has to be at the top of the page. It just has to feel contextual and related to where you did that clicking. Hello, Noor from Algeria. So obviously this menu is not contextual, which tells me they didn't bother with a relational database. They didn't bother saying, aha, if you're searching for ice time, it's probably hockey or ice rink. That's it. The rest of them don't belong. And again, we can think about some of Larry's things that he's taught us, like error prone. People could make a mistake. Yes, I want an ice rink for a marriage license appointment. Wah, wah. That's probably going to produce an error message later when the Mr. Roboto database says does not compute. Larry Marine says maybe they offer ice tennis. That would be entertaining to watch. Sounds like it hurts. So let's pretend we want ice rinks. Now I've got this long, look at all these ice rinks in Toronto, and I have to press the checkbox for all the ones I want. I can't just say any of them. We could say any day here, but we couldn't say any location. That's tough. Maybe I'm really flexible about where in Toronto this is, or maybe wouldn't a region make sense? Toronto has neighborhoods. What about adjusting these by region? So this is an information architecture issue. Whenever we think about hierarchies, taxonomies, how the data relates to each other. Sure, it's a database issue, and that's technology or our IT or our engineering, but it's also in the UX world as information architecture. So I have no idea. I'm just going to pick Adams Park and great. Yeah, Larry says, what about a map? Search by map. I would love to search by a region on a map because maybe I have a car and I'm willing to go to multiple locations. Would I like my ice rink air conditioned? Would I like it to be ballet? See, now this is where it gets silly and we can tell the database has no idea what we're here to do right now. I can say search, and of course, these are very old-fashioned buttons. They're not even primary and secondary button. They're both the same, which tends to create something more error-prone. When we have buttons that look the same but work pretty much opposite, you know that we're going to hit one of them by mistake eventually. How many people remember old-fashioned HTML forms that said submit or reset, and the buttons look the same, and how many times did you hit reset when you meant to hit submit? All right, so I think we've ripped apart Toronto a little bit. City of Toronto, 1998, for sure. Some of this seems to be left from that. And again, I would forgive them for some of the bland or outdated design if it were just functional. I don't need my city's ice rink reservations website to be beautiful and have glass morphism or the latest in stock photos, but it does need to work better than this. So there you go. We could try one more thing before we go. What if we open up like all of February just to see if we get some sort of search result? No, nobody loves us and we don't know why. Can I pick nothing here? I'm not going to pick barbecue. You must select a type of facility. Okay, so much for eFun Toronto. That wasn't fun. All right, let's move on. Our friend Udipta, I believe, recommended the Indian government copyright website. And again, we've just learned that my standards for government websites are lower. I don't expect them to be beautifully designed. I don't expect them to have fantastic copywriting. I really just want them to be clear and functional and hopefully fairly straightforward without me running into all the things Larry teaches us not to do. Now, this is a pop-up about COVID, which has nothing to do with copyrights, but perhaps there was a mandate that every government website has to remind you COVID starts with you. I'm not sure this stock photo makes sense for India. You tell me, but or stock illustration, but there you go. Now, okay, I can click away from it. Charlene says, "Oh no, an Indian website." Okay, so okay, so another website that looks like it was started around 1998 and continuously updated but never made significantly better. So we have your typical 3-column layout. We have your typical collage of images, which I used to say collage is the design of the lazy. I10 says, "I'm loving shiny things." Yeah, who doesn't love the blinking new? Because I can't tell from the date. If it's new, I have to get the blinky thing. Of course, the new doesn't tell me whether or not I've read it. It's just new to somebody, and evidently something that's a year old is still new. Endless new stuff that never gets old. We also have a full justification here. And again, this is a little bit of a not as well-known thing, but full justification is actually not great for screen readers. So full justification is not recommended for accessibility. If you care about accessibility, and every single one of you should, do not use full justification. All right, so let's imagine that I want a copyright in India. Let's imagine I've written a song and I want to register a copyright. Now, I'm not too sure where to start. Now, I know enough about stuff to know that WIPO is usually about domain name disputes and sometimes international trademarks. Intellectual property India, not sure. Promotion of industry and trade, not sure. So if I want to, okay, so over here we have e-filing a copyright application, could be that. E-filing of application for copyright society. Okay, so maybe if I were Indian, I would understand the difference between copyright and copyright society, but everybody join me in saying, knowledge dependent. Thanks to Larry Marine for his lessons. What is the difference between copyright and copyright society? I don't know. Do people tend to know? Does this assume you know? Is there an explanation somewhere? If so, is it blinking the word new? All right, let's see what happens if I go to registration of copyright. And by the way, the American trademark website, which I'm in constantly because I'm always coming up with new ideas and trademarking them, is honestly not much better. So I don't want to pick on India. This is, America is not so much greater. Ooh, okay, so I can't file a copyright online without creating a login, and y'all know I'm not going to do that. And then they give you the entire steps to do everything. Now, Larry Marine will tell you that sometimes it's good to give people a checklist ahead of time so that they're not entering into a task and then surprised later by something they needed to have handy or to know to do the task. So do we see any of these? Complete the form, signature, statement of particulars, which we don't know what that means, and they're not explaining it to us here, so I don't know what particulars are, and if that's something I have to have ready or if it's going to be easy for me to answer later. Fill up the statement of further particulars. Okay, I don't know what that means either. Literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, and software works. Okay, so if I pretended I wrote a song, that would apply to me, but I don't know what that means. And then make a payment. Okay, so this could have been a checklist or could have been some good preparation for the process, but it acted like I know what I'm doing. So I think the question is, does the Copyright Division imagine that the people who are coming here are only lawyers, and so they know this? And if so, do you still need to tell them the steps? Or do they imagine it's the everyday person? Yep, we're getting the Don Norman floating by. Always a good choice. So I think I'm a little bit stuck here because I am not going to create a user ID and password just to do this. Larry says, what difference does it make if it's new? What will the user do differently? How will this notification change the user's behavior? Most users visit infrequently enough so that everything is new. Very true. Policies and programs? No. Oh, checklist. Let's see. Ensure that the application is enclosed with the fee. The application includes the statement of particulars, which we still don't freaking know what that means. Let's imagine we search for that. What is a statement of particulars? We didn't find any search results. Oh, Ujipta says, I wanted to learn about the copyright steps. I went to the website, I ended up being confused, and I watched a YouTube video. Yeah, I've even watched YouTube videos from the US Patent and Trademark Office because I couldn't figure out what they meant, what they specifically wanted for a specimen. Linda says, how do you deal with constraints like that? Like a government regulation telling everyone to put COVID information on that page, even if it hampers the user experience. You know, it's hard. With an international issue like COVID, I can't fault them for wanting to say everywhere they can, hey, everybody in India, make good choices about COVID. I can't totally fault them. What that was missing, though, was a clear X to close it. I treated it as a light box, and I clicked outside of it, and that made it go away. But someone else might be like, how do I close this? There wasn't a clear affordance or icon or something that says, you can close this. So it is what it is. All right, I think we've had enough fun on the India copyright site. If you've got something you want me to check out, I think we're going to have time today for one or two from the audience. So let me know live if you've got one. This last one that was recommended from my LinkedIn post seems to be called Give Link. I assume that's pronounced give, just spelled wrong. So I've never been to this site before. I have no idea what's going on. So I'm just assuming, I'm putting myself in the imaginary mindset of a friend told me to check out GiveLink. That's it. That's all I know. Oh, that's so good. Decaf coffee with coconut milk. Yum, yum. Stay connected and receive latest email updates. Sign up. Okay, so I will credit them for not putting a mailing list pop up on the page. Yay! Where's my confetti? Yay! Thank you for not putting a mailing list pop up on the page and messing with my task. Enabling community generosity, GiveLink makes it easy to highlight needs and share them with donor communities. Okay, so do you understand what they do from the homepage hero graphic? If you don't, we have a bit of a copy or messaging problem. If above the fold on your homepage does not help people who have arrived here understand what you do, and you are not an obvious thing like a car dealer, here's what we don't have to say, we sell cars, we get it. I don't know what's going on here, but let's continue reading and see if we can figure it out. GiveLink service makes it easy to highlight needs and share them with donor communities. Just heard that. Didn't understand it the first time, not getting it the second time. Verified advocacy organization create posts with a capital P. So this must be internal lingo. Be careful of using internal lingo. That's information architecture. For recipients, listing the items, their desired conditions, quantities, and any special instructions. Potential donors receive the request as a visual gift registry and can easily see the organization that's highlighting the need. Larry says, try finding a traffic camera near Monument, Colorado. Do you mean Googling it? That's got nothing to do with this, Larry. I'm confused now, Larry. Okay, so what I think this is, and everybody watching live, jump in. Let's see, we've got 13 people on YouTube. How many people on LinkedIn? 6. So jump on in, everybody. It sounds like if you are a charitable organization, or maybe any organization, you can post, we need things. We need a piano. We need 6 miles of duct tape. And then people like me can go to the site and go, oh, wow, I see that they need a thing. Now, I want to donate, but guess what I don't want to do, y'all? Sign up. Before I give you my information, I want to see what's going on this site. Do I want to sign up? Do I want to be a part of this? Am I going to end up on a mailing list? Iton says, I love when websites have what we do section and you read, and you still have no clue. Said nobody ever. Yeah, right. So everything is join and everything is register, but what if I just want to see some of the things that places need? What does the Boys and Girls Clubs of the capital area need right now? Maybe it's not worth me signing up if they need all kinds of, we need a 16-foot truck. Well, I don't have that. It doesn't make sense. Like, give me a preview. Larry's got a good question too. What will my donation accomplish? And I think another common question, at least in certain countries, would be, is this donation tax deductible? Are these 503c charities or 504 whatever charities or whatever it's called in your country? Will these donations be tax deductible? What is going on here? And I'm not going to find out because I don't want to sign up. Administrator name, which I guess is me, organization name. Do not need the full name of your organization, and that doesn't help because it's after the field, which means a screen reader is going to read it after you filled it out, which is blah. So any kind of field hint or field explanation you want to put really should go before the field so that someone using a screen reader will see it first. Email. Use an email address from your organization's domain. Don't tell me what to do. This is ridiculous. If I don't know how to put email in an email box, I'm probably not going to know how to bring you the chair you need. Phone shouldn't be mandatory. There's no reason for you to call me, or is there? If there is, tell me. We call you to make sure that you're human. Organization's EIN will speed up verification for nonprofit organization. Well, hold on. Am I signing up as somebody who's going to donate or take a donation? Why do you need my business number? Larry says, by the way, YouTube is skipping some of my comments, hence the confusion about the traffic camera. Hey, you're right, everybody. If you're putting web addresses into YouTube, I am not going to see them because YouTube blocks URLs. Oh no, you're gonna have to find a way. Do it like the Russian porn spam. Put some spaces in there, or write out DOT space COM. I'm so sorry, everybody. It is true. That's YouTube doing that thing. Sorry. Thanks for reminding me. Role: advocacy organization, donor, and both. Okay, so they have one form for being a donor or what they're calling the people who need things, they're calling advocate, and then they have both. And then, are you a European Union member? Yeah, so I'm not going to fill this out. Larry says, how do you know so much about Russian porn spam? Because Larry, evidently I am a big enough YouTuber that they have been stopping by my live streams to post links. And they do it by writing a bunch of letters and then a space and then usually a .ngo, which can't be good and definitely shouldn't be used for porn. All right, I feel like I'm a bit stuck here because I'm not going to sign up. That means I'm not going to get involved in this organization. I didn't want to sign up. I didn't want to give them my email. I didn't want to give them my phone number. I'm done here. That's it. So I wish they could have shown me some of the listings. I don't know if there's a safety or security reason to not show me the listings. Like, would there be anything that makes it unsafe for people to know that the Boys and Girls Club would like some camping chairs? Well, I'm making this up. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck and I'm kind of lost. We do still have a half hour left to the stream. So everybody, let's suggest some other sites you'd like me to walk through and do a little UX audity thing on and show you how we find good and bad UX. Larry says, and yet they wonder why their donations are down. You know it. And chances are somebody is complaining that people aren't signing up enough. Have them sign up. Somebody might have decided that a good key metric is more people signing up. Well, congratulations. Oh, Iton says, I wrote you on Slack. Okay, hold on. I have to switch back to a giant picture of me so that when I switch to Slack, nobody sees our Slack. All right, please hold. Because that's like a giant share my screen. You'll see everything. Okay, Iton's got a website for us to check. Thank you for your help. And let's go to that. I'll open that up in a new window, private browser, and let's send it back to this. So this should be yes, the screen and the chat and the everything? Okay. I'm in a private browser, so I can say accept all, but generally I do not want to give you cookies. And let's see, disabled, disabled, disabled. Okay, save. All right, creative business network. Okay, so first of all, we have an always looping animation, which many people know that I recommend against. They're very distracting. It's hard to not look at the looping animation. If somebody in marketing insists on a looping animation, have it loop a couple of times and then have it stop on whatever is the most important screen for people to see. Aitan also says, try to figure out what this company is about. Okay. Let's also take a quick look at color. So here we have red on charcoal. I'm going to guess that that is not going to pass color contrast and not going to be colorblind friendly. Now, I keep a color blindness simulator app on my phone. So I can go over here and I can take a look at what this looks like to the colorblind. And yeah, you can barely see the difference between the word health and the stuff around it. If you are colorblind, you are probably saying right now, what? There's a word there? And that is not your fault. Someone didn't care about you and they should. Investing in creative industries, network with investors and creative startups, creative business network. Okay, so Aitan says, guess what this is? I'm going to guess that this is some sort of association, like maybe there's a paid membership or something. It's an association for people who believe they're in creative businesses. And because we're seeing a ballerina here, I'm going to assume that this is for what we traditionally call the arts. So visual art, ballet, dance, music, maybe different ethnic arts. And again, ethnic is a terrible word, but it's used sometimes on sites like these. Cultural or community arts might be a better way to put it. So that's my guess. But since I see words like startups and pitching, I'm assuming that this is aimed at early new businesses who might be looking for funding and networking opportunities. That's my guess. But let's go to services. What can this company do for you? Not only will startups find consulting opportunities, but anyone interested in our network or in the creative sector. I wonder if that sentence was translated from another language. It's a little awkward. Not only startups will find consulting opportunities, but anyone interested in our network or in the creative sector. Training opportunities for startups, companies, organizations, and partners of EU projects can rely. Yeah, these sentences don't make sense in English. So I'm going to assume this is written by non-native speakers and nobody had a native speaker do the translation or check the translation. That doesn't mean it's a disaster, but it just comes off a little bit strange. If you want to learn more and understand what is important and up to date, you can visit our webinars on various topics or our library, which is filled with interesting reports and links. Click through a wide range of offers. It's interesting because a lot of times startups are aiming at younger people, but yet these sound like the least interesting ways to learn what's important. I don't know a lot of young startup people who are like, I can't wait to go to a webinar. So Larry says, this is a typical digital brochure. This is how the company or organization sees itself, and their name tag is on upside down. Larry is cueing me to tell you one of his stories, which is when he, I don't know if he still does this, but at least when he used to speak at events, he would wear his name tag upside down, and people would say, hey, your name tag is upside down, and he would look at it and go, looks right to me. But I didn't download a Rimshot yet. Innovation challenges. Various innovation challenges. Okay, experience technology challenge. Ooh, December 2020. Wow. Okay, so we're not keeping our website updated. It would be even funnier if it let me register. Well, there is no way to register, but still, this is a little old. If I won this challenge, I would like to see my name here. Siroko says, wow. Yeah, events, event overview. I mean, maybe they just gave up on all this for COVID. Well, this page looks like it's from a completely different website. We've got different colors. We've got a lot of capital letters. Stop shouting at me. This looks like a totally different website. This stuff is crossed out. Was it canceled? If it's canceled, why is it here and crossed out? No, it already happened. February 2021. Okay, so they're crossing out previous events. That's weird. Creative Business Cup Finals. Gray on gray on gray on gray. Oh, smash head into microphone. Yeah, that's really tough. This is an icon. It looks like a hamburger menu. It's not. This isn't clickable. This is very hard to read. And there's a more menu. You knew it was going to be like 2 lines, and you're like, why couldn't they just put that up there? Oz is here. Hi. Oz says, it would be interesting to talk with the people themselves. We have no idea how the website got to the way it is. There may not have been a UX person and just someone with basic skills and willingness. And Ray says, wow. Yeah, Oz, that's really true for a lot of websites, and especially the ones we've been looking at today. Today is the 4th one we've looked at today. And we know that very often companies don't bring in UX specialists, or they don't correctly utilize them. And very often it's just given to a developer, and it just says, hey, find a plugin, find us a WordPress plugin or something that'll do this thing, and just set it up. And people feel like if it gets set up and it works, that must be good enough. But I always follow this link to apply. Let's see what their application looks like. Oh, continue with LinkedIn, continue with Facebook, or log in with email. No, I wanted to apply to an event. I didn't want to. Well, what is this? Is this applying to the event, or is this? Oh, I've left the website. I'm on a completely different website. I'm on F6S, and this is not a light box. I am rage clicking, and this box doesn't go away, which means I will not be able to do anything on this site without joining or logging in. And unless I am really, really into this event and I'm willing to give away my details, then I'm done here. Because I cannot click away from this and even read this page. So they've put up a wall for me, and that's the end of that. So, oops. Yeah. Did somebody else have another one? Hi, John. We have a little bit more time. Does somebody else have another one they want me to look at? I guess I will check. Slack to see if there's more suggestions hiding in the Slack. No? Larry says, my team went through this government site this morning, codot.gov. Try finding a traffic camera near Monument, Colorado, and they hired a junior UXer. All right, let's have a look. Codot, I think you said codot.gov. Again, if this better not be porn. All right. Oh, Colorado Department of Transportation. Probably not porn. I've been to Colorado, and there are much better pictures of Colorado than whatever that was. Good Lord. That's a picture of asphalt or rocks or a landfill. What? That did not set the mood I was expecting. I'm so sorry. Alrighty. So let's take a look at what's going on here. We've got navigation along the top. Home, travel center, news, safety, performance. Performance of what? Or will there be ballet? Business center, programs, projects, about CDOT. No, I don't care about you. Library, that's probably our old-fashioned resources page. A search, and some sort of A to Z browse adventure. Oh, that's good. Oh, are there traffic cameras here? No. This doesn't say traffic cameras. Is there anything that says cameras? No. Okay, so even the A to Z doesn't have traffic cameras. If I'm wondering where are traffic cameras, oh, Solomon says there's a term for this I'm forgetting. But essentially, they wouldn't let you review the service to determine if you'll find it useful before committing to it. Yeah, I don't know the term for that either. Oop. Sheer says it looks like a kid's website. Yeah, it is a little bit brightly colored for a government department. And of course, there's something to say about COVID. Express lanes. Okay. Bicycling people. Transit and rail. Aeronautics, which is definitely not an everyday word for what's that going to be? Planes or airports? So again, information architecture reminds us to use the words that our users use, not the inside terms that we use. Transit and rail, autos, pedestrian program, commercial vehicles, web accessibility. Okay, so this is really an information architecture question because these all seem kind of unrelated. So what are they doing here? Excel says, it would be interesting to review the UX of a porn site to understand all the redirects and weird junk that they deliberately do, and their tactics get barred by the mainstream. Yeah, I mean, porn is great at making money. So whatever your personal opinions are on porn, they're definitely usually good at making money. And I do know of other industries that tend to copy their website tactics. However, due to the nature of YouTube, I don't think I would be able to broadcast looking through a porn site. So I'm going to have to say, unfortunately, not, but you do make a good point. So these seem really weird and unrelated to each other. Website, it's like we found a bunch of hieroglyphics. Let's see what aeronautics is. I know Larry asks us to find a traffic camera, but what is aeronautics? The Colorado Division of Aeronautics. Sheer says the web accessibility is not accessible. That's true too. Support Colorado's multimodal transportation. Okay, so this is mission statement stuff. Bunch of videos, 2020 annual report. Okay, I don't know what this is or who it's for. It's not making sense to me. Aeronautical Board, airport map. Yeah, who is this for? It's the Department of Transportation. I mean, government sites are often difficult in that they have to appeal to very often some internal workers and citizens, and it's a whole mix of things. Let's check on the accessibility. I'm going to start tabbing. Okay, so they do have a skip to content. That's good. That's good for accessibility. It helps us bypass the navigation menu for people who are tabbing around websites. Otherwise, tab, tab, tab. Let's click safety. Yeah, you know, this is, to me, this is a little bit over-designed. This is when somebody got really excited about background photos, and even the background photos do help in setting the mood. To me, it's definitely got what I call a figure ground problem. If you study your Gestalt principles of perception, you'll learn about figure and ground, that our brain perceives some things as being in the foreground and some things as being in the background. But I've been warning people for at least 20 years that if you use a background that is a video, or it's got motion, or even some of that parallax stuff, or a video, a picture like this, which hasn't been screened out or dulled down in some way, there is no background because the picture feels like the foreground. Our brain is paying attention to it. Our brain is counting the cars. We're thinking about the traffic cones. We're thinking about a time we sat in traffic. And so now we don't even have foreground, background. We have foreground, layers of foreground. Hey, Octavio, these series are awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Tell friends. Hey, if you know somebody who's going to love videos like this, find 3 friends and please tell them about the Delta CX channel. That is my wish for everybody today, to, of course, subscribe and to find 3 people they can tell about this channel and maybe direct them to a playlist you like or a video you like. And again, please subscribe, and the links are here. So be careful of background stuff being foreground stuff. That's a warning I've been giving people since they started using background images in 1996. Remember tiled backgrounds, everybody? So I think this suffers. Thanks, Ray. I hope you will share it out. So even though we could tab our way through and we could use this, it's really hard for my brain to read some of these things because it's the star of the show seems to be the background picture, but it's supposed to be a background picture, so not good. Now, Larry says find a traffic camera. So where do we think the traffic cameras are located? Now, they could be safety because people believe that speeding and traffic cameras could be safety. Maybe it's a safety initiative. Impaired driving, distracted driving, motorcycle safety, teen driving. I feel close. I feel like we're close to where are the traffic cameras, but this isn't quite that. So let's try searching for traffic camera. Traffic camera, Department of Transportation, Vail. Then we have some news or press releases, traffic cameras from 2015, traffic cameras from 2014. Back to the homepage. That shouldn't even be a search result. Everything's on the homepage. Frequently asked questions, 2019, real-time traffic map. That sounds neat. Oh, but that's not access statewide cameras. Okay, so this was under travel. Let's take a look. Larry says getting colder. Okay, but he's also 40 seconds behind me. So let's see. Driving in Colorado. No, had to be safe and look out for snow. Enjoy the drive. Well, enjoying the drive is definitely not traffic camera because you're going to not like it. Be prepared. Road conditions. Real-time traffic map, access statewide cameras. I'm thinking it's one of these two. Real-time traffic map, which sounds fun. Oh, problem out here. Two problems out here. Somebody crashed into Larry. This looks slow. Seasonal closure. Okay, so you don't want to go there. This looks bad. High wind caution. Okay, so these actually weren't even accidents. These are something else. But Larry said find a traffic camera. So let's try to hit the back button a few times. And popular tools. Now, I only found this by guessing. This was definitely not easy to find. This is a hide and go seek game. Larry says, but find one in Monument, Colorado. And that's tough because I don't know enough about Colorado to know if mile marker 208.7 westbound on the I-70 is anywhere near Monument. So that assumes the knowledge of where these mile markers are, or that you have to remember where Mayhem Gulch Trailhead is. So I don't know. But I don't get a preview of these videos, which would help because maybe I'd recognize the scenery if these videos were in like a freeze frame from when I opened the page. Larry says traffic cameras are a common thing that people search for. Okay. What happens if I say play video? Well, this went white and I've got a finger. It's not playing, loading. And I'm wondering if this is a private browser and it expects to drop cookies or do something. View on map. I'm still loading the video. I don't know what's taking so long. I have a good internet connection. Everybody can see my internet connection over here where I keep a little running look at my internet. So I'm assuming I found the traffic cameras, but I don't know which one's in Monument, and I can't even get them to play. So I'm a little bit stuck. So, but again, the problem with I thought I was going to the homepage. I ended up somewhere else. Look at that, everybody. I clicked CO trip at the top, and I thought I'd be going back to the homepage, but I've gone to a homepage of something else. I've gone to the homepage of CO trip. Cameras, road conditions, traffic speeds, and travel alerts. But that's not where we started. We started on the Department of Transportation website. So I didn't even notice. Did any of you notice that at one point we went to a totally different site? Let's back our way out and try to figure out when did that happen. No, okay, it happened here because here we're still on DOT, the Department of Transportation. But once we said cameras, we left the site. I wonder why it's a separate website and hasn't been brought into the Department of Transportation. Sirocco says, I've had to use sites like these when driving through Utah and Arizona in winter. Avalanche closures are always fun. True. Larry says, but they have a UXer. Yeah. Well, just because you have a UXer doesn't mean anybody's listening to that person. Even if that person is doing a great job, doesn't mean everybody's listening to that person, doesn't mean they're allowed to do what they want to do, doesn't mean they worked from good research. They could be totally guessing and doing their best guess at the UX because that's the position the job put them in. So I don't want to totally poop on this UX person and assume that they're bad. I'm more likely to assume that they were given a job, they were given a list of requirements, just like they used to give developers a list of requirements. Somebody probably gave a UX person a list of requirements and says, build us the site that matches this. And you don't get to do any research and you might get minimal testing. So I'm more likely to blame the organization and their processes than to say, it's the UXer, they're a junior or they're whatever. They could be a very good junior, but if they're in a bad process or workplace situation, there's only so much good stuff we're going to get out of them. Larry says the site used to open to a traffic map with speeds and camera icons. This is the new site. Okay, I can see how that could make more sense, that if we went back to that travel map, the traffic map, that we could see where the cameras are and choose them. Now, here, there is that choice. If I had looked more closely, now my brain was looking at rainbow bright over here, like these road condition rainbows and traffic speeds rainbows and weather radar rainbows, and I got really distracted. My eye ended up here. How about yours? I didn't see up here we have cameras. Whoa, we got lots of traffic cameras. So this is neat. Let's zoom in. I'm using my trackpad pinch and zoom to zoom in. Otherwise, I assume I could use this plus and minus. I assume I can also drag. So looks like we've got cameras. And if I have a camera here, can I start to see what's going on? It's 42 degrees out. It's windy. And can I watch the video? Ooh, something's coming. Oh, and play video? It didn't just autoplay? I have to click play? Well, that was weird, everybody. Did you see that? That was not obvious. I was waiting for it to play. Brian says Department of Transportation involved, probably bureaucracy, determined people didn't get to actually do their jobs. Yeah, I would be more likely to say even a decent, good UXer of any experience level would probably not have. Okay, we're stuck, everybody. If I can have a favorite save this camera in your favorites. Report a problem with this camera. Share the camera via email, Twitter, Facebook. Larry says you probably can't see the video on a private browser. All right, let's flip back to my other browser, non-private browser. Let's give it a try. I'll give this a chance to work. Do not want a tour. Okay, cameras is still checked off, so it knew that from the URL, show equals normal cameras. So they saved that in the URL, which is nice, so that if I had this and I sent it to someone else, it would have that setting already in there. It also seems to have the longitude and latitude in the URL, so that if I sent a URL to someone, it would be where I left it. I am still not getting stuff. So what's being blocked here? Google Analytics no cookie, Maps gstatic cookie, and gstatic cookie. So let's turn this off right now. This might be killing my stuff. All right, here we go. So let's see. Silver Plume, home of the George Rowe Museum. I don't know who that is. Now, again, I expected the video to come up or start playing, so not seeing a video here is weird for me. I think that's not good UX. I've clicked play video and we're still seeing nothing, and if you look at my internet, for those of you on big screens, I've got a pretty good speed today. So I think it's just the site. I think the site might be having a little bit of woe. It could also be, by the way, that I am out of the country. And sometimes I find that some stuff is blocked for me because I'm out of the country. So if we had known that we were going to log into something, oh, boo, that we were going to log into something like that, I could have VPN'd into America. So Larry had a good idea there. It could have been that. But, to me, there's not necessarily a good reason to block this to people outside of America. Maybe I have a loved one near where an avalanche was and I want to learn as much as I can about the situation. But I'm over here in Italy and I feel so helpless, and I wish I had eyes on the ground. And this traffic camera is the only thing giving me hope right now. Show me the traffic camera. So think about those possible outcomes and different use cases. So, and sometimes government sites shut off features outside of America because they don't want to pay for the bandwidth and things like that. And I get it. But I didn't VPN in, so I don't know if this would work better with VPN. So shifting back to a giant picture of me, thanks to everybody who joined in for this part 2 of looking at some good and bad UX on different websites. If you'd like to send in something for the Think Out Loud series, where I teach UX design and information architecture by doing design live, please follow to deltacx.com/links and find the part on the page that says that you can submit something for Think Out Loud. If somebody has a doable idea, even as a realistic fake project, we'll start that one not next week. I'm speaking at a conference on February 7th, so we are going to be taking a break next Monday and there won't be a show. I apologize, but I do have a lot of conference talks coming up and they are going to interfere with the schedule. You can always go to deltacx.com/links and look for our event calendar. That will tell you when all of the shows are coming up on the YouTube channel. But I've already canceled next Monday's show because I'm speaking at a conference. So if you send something in for Think Out Loud, we will start it 2 weeks from today. Siroko says, these are great. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. And let me know. Send me comments, questions, requests, ideas, sites you want me to look at that aren't porn. No offense, but I'm just trying to keep it clean for YouTube. And remember, please subscribe, tell friends. It's my goal to get as many people as possible to know about the channel this year. And we give ad revenue to charity. All ad revenue is donated to charity, so it's not about getting money from you. It's just about getting good CX and UX work and ideas and advice out to more people. It's simple as that. I love teaching and helping. The end. Juliana says, thanks. Well, thank you. Larry says, how will I get through Monday without a dose of Debbie? Oh, the horror. Larry is addicted, and that's a beautiful thing. Back at you. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to be speaking at a developer conference doing my usual talk, improving agility by using customers' definitions of quality and done. Did you see what I did there? That talk, last year's version of that talk is available on the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type Delta CX Improving Agility. You can get last year's version. I've been rewriting it this year, so eventually I'll probably re-record a new one. But for now, last year's is close enough. So that's it. I'm going to play us out of here. Let's take a look at shows happening this week. So tomorrow we have Office Hours, Ask Me Anything. That one is still going to happen. Didn't cancel that. That's going to be just me alone. So again, if you have something you want answered, you can show up live tomorrow. It's always 6:30 p.m. Italy time, or you can use that deltacx.com/links and it will take you to how do I ask questions ahead of time. Brian says, and chocolate chips. Yes. Wednesday, we have no show. We had to move it to March. I am so sorry. Our show that I keep promising with Stephanie and Ben had to be moved to March. Friday, of course, reaction stream. Next Monday, we're off. Next Tuesday is Darren and Dr. Nick. Office hours, ask us anything. So a week from tomorrow. And then we've got reaction streams. And honestly, I have not been booking a lot of shows. I've been so busy at my job, but even if we don't have some fresh shows, we'll always have the Monday shows, the Tuesday shows, and the Friday shows, even if we don't have the Wednesdays. I have asked Larry to prepare some new content for everybody, and I'm always looking for people to guest. So let me know who you'd like to see on the show, and also let me know who you'd like to be a special guest on Office Hours Ask Me Anything. They've got to be pretty good at taking spontaneous questions on a variety of topics. So with that, I will play us out of here and remind everybody it is sadly still very COVID-y out, so please continue to be careful. Reminder that you can get this disease over and over again. Wash hands, wear masks, please do the things. I'm so worried about those of you who are sick or have been sick. One of you is here now. I hope you're feeling better. And either way, I will see everybody tomorrow for office hours. Have a super day. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are